Welcome to the Stop Playing Podcast with Sham and Shaka. I'm Sham.
I'm Shaka. What's going on?
Not much.
Is this the double up dip?
Double dip.
Yes.
And we're not talking about chips and dip.
No, we're not. As promised. Many times, but now delivered. Man, I'm very excited. We have a lot that we didn't get to before.
On the single dip.
On the first dip. Correct. I don't know if it's called a single dip. See, it's called a first dip because
but if you double dip, then you had to single dip at one point.
At one point, but at the time of the dip, it's the single.
So the last dip was the single dip.
We're saying the same thing. Let's keep going. We're not going to start the double dip in minutia, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
And here we are for episode 28.
28.
Yeah. So we ended the last one discussing how long the Avengers movie is and how I'm ready for it.
We talked about a couple other movies that we sat in the theater for.
More than one, though.
Okay.
More than once.
Now, I went to the theater. I've gone to the theater more than once for a bunch of movies.
Ugh.
You have only done that once?
One time, and that was Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Saw it 3 times.
All right, so you saw Lord of the Rings. I've seen multiple movies, as I just said, many times. So, okay, the last one I saw many times was Black Panther. I saw Black Panther a total of, do you want to do over or under?
You saw it 5 times, right?
Yes, you know this.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
I saw Black Panther 5 times, guys, in the movies. And every time I was like, I'm coming right back to see this movie. All right, cool. Black Panther was, I want to say, a smidge over 2 hours. Maybe like 2:15, something like that.
It wasn't that long.
Avengers is going to be 3 hours. You saw Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which is long as hell. And I remember being in the movie theaters like, this movie's good. Don't get me wrong. I like the Eagles coming in and everything else. Is that why you like it?
No.
Listen, I might have just figured this out on the podcast.
No.
The Eagles come in and save the day. But anyway, no. In all seriousness, I liked it, but there were times where I was like, this movie should have ended 10 minutes ago. Then it became 15, then it became 20. All right, cool. Avengers 3 hours long. I don't know if I can buckle up for that. At an hour 30 minutes, hour 40 minutes, I'm already like moving around in my chair like, what's going on? 2 hours, I'm like, all right, for real, like, let's wrap this up. 2 and some change, I'm like, I better be getting important information every second from now on to keep my attention.
Well, then don't go see it in the theater. Wait till it's on video.
I mean, it's going to be only the biggest movie in the whole world.
Yeah, but you're sitting here complaining about how long it's going to be. It's like either you're going to go endure it or not. Like
3 hours? It's not necessary.
It's not that bad.
Can we have the decency, and I complained about it before, but to do what like Harry Potter and all them did, like break it up break it up into 2.
They already broke it up into 2.
That's
it was
what I'm
called
saying.
Infinity War.
So what we're saying is the one movie would have been, because Infinity War was 2 hours and 40. So we're saying
no, it wasn't that long.
That it was, or 2
it was
hours
like
and
2:20, 2:30. Yeah, you're right, 2:32. That's what it was.
So okay, what we're saying is if it was one movie, it'd been 5.5 hours. 5.5 hours. Schindler's List about the Holocaust was like pushing 4 hours.
Wait, I saw Pearl Harbor in the movies. How long was that?
Pearl Harbor wasn't good. It shouldn't be in this conversation.
It was pretty long though.
It was about World War II, but it shouldn't be in this conversation.
It was long.
Schindler's List is in this conversation. You said Saving Private Ryan was too long for you, and that movie was 2 and 20, and that movie is greater than Son by 1,000% Pearl Harbor.
I never gave you an opinion on what I thought of the movie. I just said it was long.
I've seen a couple Star Wars movies a few times in the theater. I saw Dark Knight though, with Heath Ledger at least 3 times. If that movie ain't better than this, I will have a problem.
Pearl Harbor, 3 hours and 4 minutes. I know I wasn't crazy. That thing was long.
And how did you feel when you left?
I don't even remember what happened in that movie.
I mean, of course not. That was 3 hours of your life. It's almost like it wiped your memory. It was so long, it overtook the memory of everything you did that day.
I know it was a story about 2 best friends. One of them was presumed dead, and the chick moved on with his best friend, and then he ended up being alive.
Pearl Harbor was 3 hours long. You talking about the one with Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
He was in that?
98.
See, I told you, I don't even remember.
I mean, wow. I can't see a movie for 3 hours and not know who's in it.
Who was it?
Yeah,
was it? I don't know.
Yes, he certainly was in it.
It was the guy. Oh, yeah, he was.
Yes. What are you talking about? He was a bad You know what?
You know what? I remembered everybody but him. I remember Kate Beckinsale and I remember Josh Hartnett.
He was like the main character.
But I did not remember Ben Affleck. Showed you how important to me he was in that movie. But I definitely remember Josh Hartnett because, yeah.
Oh, man. Josh Hartnett's...
And Cuba Gooding Jr.
Josh Hartnett's best movie to me was 40 Days and 40 Nights.
And I was about to say, the guy that was in 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Yeah, I like 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Wicker Park sucked.
Yeah, I did not see that. But yeah. Dark Knight, I saw that like maybe 4 times. Black Panther, I love so much. I saw it like 1,000 times.
You know, I've only seen that once.
Yeah, you're tripping.
Only once.
Can you tell the listeners, you were talking about Return of the King. How many times did you see Two Towers in the theater?
None.
You're tripping.
I didn't know about it.
Because Two Towers, if in the Lord of the Rings series, if we want to get technical, that's the best movie in the series. It is the best one. And we said that last time. But seeing it in the theater is like...
It was already in the theater by the time I even saw the first one. It was gone. It had come and gone. It's not
I guess my point is this. Seeing the Two Towers in the theater, like, kind of reminded me why the hell I even signed up to see Lord of the Rings in the theater in the first place. The Battle of Helm's Deep in Two Towers in the theater is basically why you even, in my opinion, go to see Lord of the Rings movie. But that's my humble opinion.
I mean, I just watched it for Schmeagol/Gollum. I thought that was the most interesting part of the movie.
There are people who line up for Lord of the Rings like I line up for Game of Thrones. So, okay, no problem.
Like,
no problem.
Every scene was Gollum. I was like, just sitting there like, I cannot wait for what he's about to say next.
And Star Wars is my other, besides Game of Thrones, Star Wars is my other obsession. Episode 9 is coming up. Episode 9 better be good. I'll tell you that, or it's going to be a problem.
I think I saw episode 3 twice in the movies.
Episode 3 is in Return of the Jedi, or episode 3 is in Revenge of the Sith?
Well, episode 3 is Revenge of the Sith. Episode
you're right.
6 is Return of the Jedi.
Excuse me. You got me. Yeah. And you and I have talked about episode 3, and we like it.
Yeah, we've watched clips of it.
We watched clips of it. Yeah, we like it. Yeah. Hayden Christensen... non-acting, but Kirk and Al
hasn't had a meaningful role since.
No, untrue. Before we move on, Hayden Christensen has played. You remember the story about Stephen Glass, the reporter who for the New Republic who made up stories? Mm-hmm. He played in a movie called Glass. Okay,
I did hear about that, but
great, probably in my opinion, his best role.
Right, but I know one of the issues that he had after the Star Wars trilogy was that he could not get any good roles because he was kind of typecast as Anakin.
Of course. So, and that was why it was a good breakout role for him.
Yeah.
And
wasn't he in that other movie though? What was it called? Jumper?
Yeah, he was. And Jumper is an extremely entertaining movie, but it's a horrible movie. Samuel, who we told will take a paycheck, showed up for that. Like, give me my bag. All right, I'm out of here.
That dude out here collecting checks. Yeah. But
wow. So wow.
Yeah.
Indeed. And wow, let's go into the next story.
Wow Airlines, the budget
Yes.
airline that will take you over to Europe for basically nothing and give you nothing while you're on the airline. You pay for everything. You want to drink, you pay for it. You want to watch TV, you pay for it. Oh, you think you're going to bring a carry-on? No, you pay for that too. So,
WoW is Spirit on steroids, and
yeah,
Spirit was an airline on steroids.
right. And
Yeah.
and for all that nickel and diamond, they just ceased operations
So
without warning the other day.
WoW is the fire festival. WoW is the fire festival of airlines. And I'm laughing, but I feel so bad because you and I both fly a lot, and I cannot imagine booking a ticket and then being told. I don't know how they were told. Actually, I haven't sussed that out. But however it was communicated to those passengers that, forget delay. Your flight's not happening.
It wasn't communicated at all because those passengers showed up at the airport and all the wow signs were gone. There was nobody behind the counter.
Oh
like
God.
It was like wow did not exist. They showed up and there was no wow.
Kudos to the person who created WoW, because I say WoW right now as an exclamation to the story, and I'm bigging up your brand. Wow, as in, wow, how the hell can y'all allow these people to show up? I can't imagine that. I cannot imagine that. You book mostly overseas flights.
It's a Icelandic airline.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people trapped overseas.
Yeah, stuck Chuck.
You show up to the airport, your airline doesn't exist anymore.
Wait,
I mean, we're laughing, but oh my God.
It says we check in over here.
Yeah.
I don't see it though.
and then the people at the airport are like, yeah,
Nah, yo, nah.
We saw people coming in like 3 a.m. folding that whole like sign up. Like
they left on the Mayflower.
Forget
truck.
your flight. Like your airline doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, we laugh just because of the whole
I mean, it's crazy.
It's because of the whole lack of logistics of this thing. I mean, obviously, we're not making fun of the people who got left behind, because that's I just don't know what I would do in that. I mean, I know what I would do, but I would be mad about having to do it. Obviously, you just have to find the next flight on a different airline.
Yeah.
And Iceland Air stepped in.
Mm-hmm.
And they offered, but they didn't. I mean, it was reduced fare. Like they weren't giving out
we want
free
our bag.
fare.
Yeah.
Which Iceland Air is what I flew to Europe during my vacation, and I loved it. It was awesome.
They were like, it's not our problem. However,
we'll help you.
We'll help y'all out.
We'll give you a discount. Also, United Airlines and American Airlines.
Yeah, all the airlines.
Yeah, they went in and tried to.
Well, it's a great PR move because it's like, look, let's help out these passengers.
Right.
Now we want our bag, so we'll get y'all a reduced rate.
Ooh, the lawsuit on this thing.
It's the fire festival of airlines. Yeah, for real. Like, you're booking flights you can't do. Now, basically, the story behind this is that, I mean, WoW was basically a startup airline. And the people just didn't have the money to support it. And they ignored, from what I saw, a lot of regulations and a lot of sort of warning signs that you would need to heed to keep an airline going. Mm-hmm. So, it's exactly like Fire Festival. In that sense, people just kept pushing, booking flights, doing this, that, and not, going by the protocol. So there it is. I feel bad for those people, but at the same time, man, I would love to have been in that room when the most ham out of all those passengers found out their flight no longer existed, got wiped off the face of the earth. Forget delayed.
Well, they said that they posted something on their website. I mean, but a lot of people don't rely on that type of thing. They just know when their flight is coming in. Like for me, and probably you as well, and millennials in general, we like to download. I'm hoping that if you had looked on the app that day, and there might have been a message or something. Now, what really would have sucked is if you tried to log into your app and the app ceased operation.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. If the sign at the airport is being taken down, what makes me believe the app is accurate?
Yeah, but you don't know that because you ain't get there yet.
Right. Okay, you're talking about on the way there. But
Yeah.
if I'm standing in the airport, which most of the time my decisions on flights happen when I'm at the airport, if I see people taking down banners, or to your point, if they took down the banners at 3 in the morning and I get to the airport at 6 in the morning, I don't see a banner for my airline. Yeah, forget the app. I mean, I'm gonna go on it, but how can I trust it? We don't exist.
Yeah, it's messed up.
If I went to Southwest, whatever, when I'm leaving, and I ain't see a Southwest sign, I would be so concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be like, yo, what's going on? Oh, well, your app says you're good. Yeah, but I don't see any signs. Where are my gate agents? Where am I this? Where am I that? Yeah. Nah, it's the Fire Festival, for real. But on the back end, and I hate to sound crass, I'm not getting on the airline called Wow. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, Spirit was a little bit of a jump. Wow with an exclamation point. I don't need no exclamation points on my airline. I need everything safe and smooth and clean. Why I need exclamation points? Wow about what? We're flying the plane, correct? This is supposed to be easy peasy.
I almost booked the wild flight. It looked fun because everything was pink and neon and all the. It just looked like it could be a good.
I don't need my flight to be fun. I need my flight to be, mundane.
Yeah, but if you're flying that long.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. But
yeah,
I don't need it to be fun. You see, they focus too much on the fun, less on the business.
All that nickel and dime they didn't help save them.
Correct. So, Spirit's next.
Well, I'll never know, because they like leaving people too on purpose.
Trust me, I got mold by Spirit. Don't worry about it.
Get off the plane now. You're not going. Type stuff. So yeah, but we not about to be out here giving them any free promotion.
Correct.
Another company is like kind of gone through the rails this week, and this is an old kind of story that's gotten a lot of focus this week because 2 airports have decided to no longer have Chick-Fil-A locations.
Yeah.
Buffalo Niagara Airport and the San Antonio Airport, because of their donations to charities that are very anti-LGBTQ.
Now, I heard the Justice Department is looking into San Antonio.
Right, because the San Antonio Attorney General basically was like, you are stripping the corporate Chick-fil-A, which is a closely held / privately held corporation. Yep. And as a result of the Hobby Lobby case, that was a landmark case for this reason, the Supreme Court held that any closely held corporation is protected under the First Amendment. So, there was a 5-4 decision about this back in 2010, which specified the free speech part of the First Amendment. But the recent Hobby Lobby case pretty much solidified that the freedom of religion part is that the corporations...
That supersedes.
Right. Yeah. Corporations are protected by the First Amendment.
Correct.
That part of the First Amendment. So what the Attorney General is arguing in San Antonio is that it's a violation of Chick-fil-A's religious liberty by basically saying you gotta go.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's a right to have. You have freedom of religion. If you want to put money into organizations that are strong in your religion, you can do that.
Of course.
Now, there's a social problem with this.
And pragmatic and economic.
An economic and pragmatic problem with this, not just for the San Antonio airport, because I'm sure it's a leased space. They could probably find another restaurant to fill that space.
Correct.
Maybe not one that's as profitable as Chick-fil-A, unless it's old McDonald's that they're going to put there. But this is 2 issues. One is the legal right of Chick-fil-A to be able to be in that space, and their legal right to choose to put their money into charities that they want to, which you can't keep them from doing that.
Right.
And the other one is too, like, I'm sure these places have leases where they have a loophole or some type of language that says that they can break a lease at any time for anything that landlord sees fit
Mm-hmm.
or is not within, they'll put language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then there's that part of it, but of course the huge part of it is this look. Chick-fil-A has been doing this for years. The owner was, I believe, a Seventh-day Adventist, um, which is I think why they're not open on Sundays.
That's right.
Um,
That's why they're also
opposed to same-sex marriages and things like that.
Yep.
Which, look, they don't specifically give their money to anti-LGBT groups, but they give money to Christian groups.
That's right.
So it's kind of an indirect but direct type of thing.
You said the right thing.
So for me, it's kind of like, because I feel strongly about supporting the LGBT community. And I also feel strongly about the right of
free enterprise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I was going. I also feel so, and I mean, when I say under fire, like, I've seen so many articles about Chick-fil-A and these, and they named the 3 organizations. One of them being a big one, the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
And the other 2 were like specific, like Christian charities.
Well, let me say this about free enterprise, though. It's interesting you bring that up. I believe in free enterprise too, to an extent. So I guess people would say I don't, but fine. If you are serving the public, then that's what you're doing. It's kind of like Wall Street. There's a difference between being a private entity and being a publicly traded company. There's a difference between being a private business and a business in a private specialized business and a business that caters to the public. If you cater to the public and you're willing to take all public money, then you need to take all public identities. Because at the end of the day, the money's the same. And if you're willing to accept that money, then you need to be willing to accept the patrons that present it.
Oh, they're not saying you can't come here and spend the money. They're just saying we don't think you should marry each other.
And here's the thing. If I'm a patron, how about you keep your opinions to yourself? Serve me, your products, and I will pay you my money.
I think that was the first bad move.
Right.
Saying it publicly.
Exactly.
Even if someone asks you the question, doesn't mean you have to answer it. Or, if that's the way you feel, it doesn't necessarily, like we say all the time. Yeah, sure, we have freedom of speech, but freedom of speech has consequences. Right.
And actually, that's why I respect Chick-fil-A, because the owner said, look, I'm willing to lose business. I'm going to close on Sunday because that's my belief. He's expressing free enterprise. This is my belief. I'm not punishing the customer. I'm punishing myself. If I opened on Sunday, I would have one day more of business that people would come in because they love Chick-fil-A. But this is my belief. I respect that. Now, what I don't respect, and I'll say it like that, for him and anyone else, is why are you broadcasting while you're doing it? Nobody cares. If you want to do it, do it. That's like saying, hey, Dave, why'd you... And Dave, I forget his name, but is dead, but...
Dave Thomas, Wendy's?
Thomas, yes. Yeah. Why does your Wendy's logo look like that? You know what I'm saying?
It's my daughter.
That's my daughter. Yeah, but that's the point. Like, who cares? That's what he is doing. That's his belief. He is willing to go... If somebody were to be like, hey, you know what? We're not going to go just because of that. He'd be like, all right, well, sorry to lose your business. Next.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And look.
and get out my face.
That is your choice.
Yeah, that is your choice.
Look, you can eat and not eat wherever you want.
Right.
So, not that I understand that some people who are Christian believe in the biblical definition of the family unit, which I don't know. Did they have like a glossary where it said that? Because I don't look.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe so. So look, and I'm quoting because these were his words. Dan Cathy,
Okay.
the president of Chick-Fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
And I get it. Just like I have my beliefs, you know, the only thing that I can hope for someone to do is to understand my beliefs. But I don't think it makes you a bad person because you don't share my belief.
Right.
That being said, look, there's thousands of folks in the LGBTQ community that are like, I'm never eating there again. And sure, I understand that. But there's also thousands of people who work for the company that are part of that community and enjoy working there and have been treated lovely. So it's just one of those things where you got to decide, like, what is more important to you.
Well, anyone who works for any company, anyone who works for any job, business, period. I mean, how many of us work amongst, and I'm not trying to, will we be friends and or associate with the people we work with if we did not have to actually report to work?
Absolutely not. I can count on my hand the number of people that I've worked with in the past that I still talk to.
Right. This is business.
Mm-hmm.
This is business. And we're talking about this on a, lines that working level.
Mm-hmm.
Ownership level, it should be even less emotional. You want customers to come into your business. You are providing a service for them. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not impose your beliefs on them and let them not impose their beliefs on you. Here's where I draw the line. When people are getting discriminated against. That's it. Both ways. Don't discriminate against a business for their beliefs if you want to buy their product. And as a producer, don't discriminate against consumers. That's it. It should be that simple. Keep your beliefs to yourself. If you want to have a cause politically, and I am the main person for political causes, you take that outside your business. That's what I do. I take that outside my business. And the world will be a simpler place. But people don't know how to disassociate. People, I said it about black people, but it's really about all people. People don't know how to, disassociate things.
Yeah. But look,
they don't. So that's it.
This thing's probably gonna go. It's probably not gonna happen in San Antonio because.
Oh, not there.
It's probably not gonna happen. Like the one in Buffalo has not been built yet.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a different type of thing, and also too, we do have precedent now. It's a recent precedent with Hobby Lobby that says that you cannot discriminate against a closely held / privately held company,
yep.
Which Chick-Fil-A had put out years ago. They're never going to go public.
Right.
They're never going public.
Because
and this
it's stuff like this.
Yep. Kind of protects them. So we'll see how this goes. It's probably not gonna. I mean, like I said, it's probably a decision to exclude it in the San Antonio airport is probably not gonna be able to be followed through. But
yep. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, though.
Yeah.
It's been challenged.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's not so much like a kind of a low level, conflict. This is the stakes have been raised because it's been challenged.
Yeah.
So now it's been brought to the forefront. So now the stakes are higher. There'll be bigger players brought into it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great story, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. What else you got?
Well, I would like to stick with great stories, but sheesh. So
They're all great.
I mean, this one's great because of the optics of it all. It's just like, what are we? Okay. So there's this doctor, right?
Yeah.
And this came across my newsfeed. So he was a very successful doctor.
Yeah.
He was cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Had a mistress. Things are going well, I guess.
I made Sham watch Cheaters with me, guys, for like 2 hours. Did you appreciate the dynamic of the cheating relationship more by watching it with me?
First of all, I don't appreciate any cheating relationship.
Okay. Let me say it like this. Did you appreciate observing as a third party the dynamics of watching a relationship be destroyed by cheating? I think it made you absorb the story more. I'll just say that. Keep going.
So look, there's a doctor at Harvard. Well, not Harvard. He went to Howard. Harvard, I should say. He killed his pregnant mistress's baby.
Yikes.
Because he found out that the mistress was pregnant by another dude. Yeah. Now look, utero murder is not funny.
No.
We're not laughing because this poor baby did not get a chance at life. We understand.
He was a cardiologist, by the way.
And he's still seeing patients. I didn't even get that far.
Yeah.
But look, the audacity of you getting mad that the woman you're cheating with has cheated on you is beyond me.
Listen. Me and you had an agreement. You belong to me. I already told you, me and old girl going through a situation. I'm getting out of that. But you and I are supposed to build a life together. What are you doing? All right, look.
Look, first of all, let's talk about how this went down.
Yeah, you go. Because I can't be trusted. My poker face is not good for stuff like this.
So look, he paid 2 people to trap his mistress in a house so this could go down. Straight kidnap. So look, they starved her, feeding her water only through a syringe. And they induced the labor. She was 7.5 months pregnant with fentanyl and PCP.
This is a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Organizing this.
He knew how to kill the baby without killing the mother.
Right. Who are these goons?
One was a chick. I know that much. I don't know like who the other burn, but yeah, she had chemical burns on her face and ligature marks on her arms, torn off fingernails. They were making her suffer. This is not cool.
I mean, look. Again, as Sham said, this type of stuff, it's like, okay, the guy was cheating on his wife. Let's start there. Or whatever, his girl. He is mad that his girl, his side piece. I mean,
his side piece had a side piece.
This woman is dead, so I don't even want to disparage her. But
she's not dead.
Oh yeah, that's
the
right.
Baby's dead.
The baby's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So his son having an affair on him, so he's gonna hatch a plan. This had to be planned. He is a doctor, a cardiologist. Somebody's having a heart attack right now, depending on this guy, and he's hatching this plot right now. Or was. What are we talking about?
God.
I don't understand how people get caught up to this extent and then rope other people in it, and then people think it's a good idea. I've been on this show before and I joke, and I'm serious. I want to be in the room when ideas like this are hatched. This is a horrible situation and a dark situation. It's more funny when it's like a bank robbery or something like that, like what I talked about before. But I really do want to be in a room when this is talked about.
Yeah.
Who is there a voice of reason? Like, okay, this is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
How did you get 2 people to help you?
Right.
And look, they said that she got out, like she fled, like ran from the house.
Good for her.
They caught her and brought her back in. Said that the baby was lying on the bed next to her, still attached to the umbilical cord.
I mean, you read about, like, when we grow up, you read about, like, serial killers and stuff like that in the 60s and 70s, and you're like, man, this was like a grotesque time, but people wouldn't dare do stuff like that with all the forensics and science and stuff. People are crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Remember this discussion we had about like the little girls doing all the stuff? People are just crazy.
Yeah, those little girls.
But I know it still bothers you to this day, and
Yeah.
you can't wrap your brain around it. But draw the string to this. People are just crazy. This is crazy. This man has gone through high school, college, medical school, perfect citizen, or not perfect, but whatever, normal.
An upstanding citizen up until this point.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
So
People are just crazy.
just ruined his entire life.
People are just crazy.
Killed a baby.
And those two people with him, crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying crazy is and let him off, because guess what? I'm of the Jack McCoy school. Crazy or not, throw him in the can.
He got to go.
Yeah, everybody got to go.
They all got to go.
Everybody got to go.
And
throw away the key.
This woman will be traumatized like forever.
Of course she will.
Like there's no, yeah, she's.
Throw away that key right now for all of them. For all of them. And it's like the wife. Listen. Whatever life y'all had, get out of there and consider yourself lucky, because you were next. Yeah. Matter of fact, you lucky he didn't do you first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was on some reverse Scott Peterson.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I mean, honestly, like, not to, I don't know how I can see any blessing out of this, but there are a couple blessings. One, the woman is still alive. She did not get killed.
Correct. Both of them.
And the wife.
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
both of them.
That's
both
a blessing. The
both
wife,
of them.
The wife knows exactly. Look, I'm out. Look,
both of them.
Don't contact him. I'm good. I'm good.
Because Scott Peterson, he would have done the wife first. Old boy in Colorado, he would have done the wife first, and then been like, all right, let me focus my attention on the mistress.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Nah.
The thought of it.
So there you go.
Yeah. But look.
Can't be... Sham, I said it a few episodes ago when we were talking about the girls. Can't people just be crazy no more? So they're crazy people.
Yeah, these
people are crazy.
This is insanity.
And that's it.
So, speaking of insanity, or people possibly being driven to insanity.
Yeah.
So, remember way back in the beginning when we talked about Mary Kay Letourneau?
Yeah. You know what? I don't know how I feel about this. I guess
how I feel about it.
Okay. Well, then I'll let you go last. I'll say what I say. Mary Kay Letourneau and I forget the guy's name, but they have divorced, or they are on their way to divorce. Fast track.
Vili Fualu.
Vili Fualu. Look, they first hooked up when she was 34 and he was 12. They have had 2 children. We have talked about it extensively on the show. I will not revisit the whole history. When we brought it up on the show, they had recently separated, and I think we're trying to reconcile, essentially. Now it's come out this week that he is done. He's basically like, look, game over, divorce. My thought about it is this. Marriage, counseling, whatever. That man is 35, 34, something
34,
like that. 34,
she's 57.
Yeah, she's 57. Hey, you know what? I'm 34 now, so maybe let me get my action. And you just don't do it for me anymore. I know that, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know what? She took advantage of that young boy when he's 12 years old, so he has the right to be selfish and live his life. And get your old self out of here. We have 2 beautiful children. We've raised them. They're adults at this point. So, you know what? I'm living my life. I don't want no 57-year-old woman. And I'm sorry if there's some, May, December men-women marriages amongst our listeners. I'm not trying to offend you. But guess what? That man wants someone his age. Okay, he can have a little bit of an older woman, but no, he don't want somebody that old. He's already had it. Let that man live his life. Point blank, period. She can't do anything for him anymore. There we go. That's my take.
Look, I'm not going as far as to say that she can't do anything for him anymore, because had this been a different circumstance
Mm-hmm.
and this was a willing relationship, sure, she could probably still do something for him.
What could she do for him?
Obviously he would want to be with her if this was a willing relationship. So the
So
it would
you
be
saying
different.
this whole time he hasn't wanted to be with her?
I don't think he has, to be honest, because we did talk about this
Yeah,
story,
we did.
but look, she got pregnant, had a baby, she was in jail. He instantly had to become a father and take care of the baby. She comes out of jail, promptly gets pregnant again. And now this 13-year-old at this point is probably what, 18, 17, 18 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
has two children to raise. And then is, for lack of a better word, attached to this woman just the whole time. So he didn't have a childhood. He don't know what it's like to be a teenager for real. Like baseball games, basketball games, proms, all that stuff. All that just went out the window. I almost feel like he felt, well, maybe, I don't even know if he felt it, but like at that young, like, where you go, oh no, I don't want to be with this woman. I mean, you got two kids to take care of. I mean, so, but when she got out of jail, I felt like, okay, the most appropriate thing to do for him would probably be to just reconcile the family. And it's almost like he's been in autopilot since he was 13.
Yeah.
So I would
12.
say, 12, 13,
Yeah.
young. I would say that at this point in his life, he finally realized that maybe this isn't the life for him.
Yeah.
And sure, in that aspect, she can't do nothing for me anymore because I don't feel anything. I don't want her.
Well, yeah.
But
I was saying it more.
yeah, but I'm thinking if this was a willing relationship in which they both wanted it, of course she could still do something for him because he would want her to. But in this case, look,
She's 57.
Look, I don't blame him.
I'm
Get
not
out.
saying. I'm not saying.
You
57.
have been, for lack of a better word, trapped in a situation for 20 years.
If I'm 57 and 57-year-old woman is sexy. If I'm 40, 57-year-old or 45, that man's 34 and been with the same woman.
Yeah.
So guess what?
Look.
What's up with the 25-year-olds?
Look, we're on the same side of the spectrum.
Yeah, we're approaching it for different angles.
Different reasons.
Yeah.
So look, I'm with you. Get out.
Yeah.
Bye. You're unhappy. Get the hell up out of here. I feel like this woman forced herself upon you, forced herself into your life, trapped you into this marriage.
I agree with you on that.
Like, get out. Bye.
Matter of fact, you're right. I see exactly. She has usurped this man's life.
Taking it completely over.
He hasn't been a man. Matter of fact, he's never been a man without her.
No.
Ever.
Exactly.
Like ever.
So you know what,
He wasn't
Vili?
even a teenager without her.
No.
She got him when he was 12.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's almost like the prison sentence
His
has
daughters,
ended.
his
daughters are in their
have
20s.
have had a better life than him.
Yeah. They're in their 20s.
Lived the world. Matter of fact, his daughters could probably teach him more about the world and dating and all that than he could.
Well, remember when we talked about it previously, they were saying like they like hanging out with him because he's fun.
The fun dad.
The fun dad. He only 13 years older than the oldest.
That's crazy.
One. So, but good for him. Divorces aren't great. I mean, it's never something
you
that
said good for him. Get away from her.
Divorces aren't great, but get the hell away from this woman. She has damaged your life completely. No, the only two things you got out of this were your girls, and I'm sure you would never want to send them back. So, look, Vili, I'm here for it, and I think it's actually Falau, but whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
You all know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you want to talk a little bit about Betsy DeVos?
Listen, I don't have much to say about her. You're right. I do want to talk about her. It'll be quick. Betsy DeVos, and I will preface this by saying she is the Secretary of Education.
Yeah.
Is an idiot.
Has been since day one.
Right, and everyone knows it. This is a little bit personal, so the vitriol may come out a little bit. I apologize if it does. She was talking about cutting funding for the Special Olympics this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. She was talking about cutting it. Then everybody jumped down her throat.
As they should have.
Then she kind of like fake denied doing it. Then 45 to his credit.
Yes.
Here's what I like about 45. The stuff anything he believes in, he's just gonna go out and burn the forest regardless.
Look, commitment.
Doesn't worry about none of his people or none of that. He didn't talk to her or anything.
He commits.
That man said, he went. This was on one of the, and I kept saying the East Lawn. It's the South Lawn conferences. That's another correction I need to make. Came out and was like, I don't know what my people were talking about, but we're gonna reverse that. Which is hilarious.
But here's my thing about her though. Why are we even talking about cutting funding for them? How does that fall under her umbrella? What does that have to do with the Department of Education?
I just love the way
he did it. Do I sound ignorant though?
No, you do not. You sound smart. She sounds ignorant. She's the head of the Department of Education. He said, I'm overriding my people. Those were his exact words. I'm overriding my people. We're going to actually keep the funding for the Special Olympics. And threw her all the way under the bus.
As he should have.
So then she comes on Twitter and goes, oh, thank you, President Trump, for keeping this funding for the Special Olympics, which is something I wanted to do. Lies.
You just said you wanted to cut it.
Exactly. So somebody lying. Everybody lying. All right. That's really what Betsy DeVos is. Listen, she's never experienced a day of public school. Her children have never. She is literally probably the most unqualified person ever to hold the office of the head of the Department of Education. Like she is so unqualified, and yet she proposes these extreme measures to cut education. The reason is personal for me. My dad taught special ed students for literally 40 years. He retired in DC from doing that. You cannot cut funding for stuff like that. You can't do that. And how could you even form an argument for cutting the funding for that?
Wait, so was she trying to cut the funding for special education or the Special Olympics?
Well, the Special Olympics are literally one of the culminations of special education.
I didn't think that would be under the same budget though. I guess it is, maybe.
It is.
I didn't know.
It is. Department of Education. It is.
The Special Olympics under the Department of Education?
The Special Olympics. Okay. The Special Olympics. She's under the Department of Education. She can control that.
She can control the Special Olympics? That's a worldwide thing.
The Special Olympics. The Olympics are a worldwide thing.
So are the Special Olympics.
Right.
It's about as big as the regular Olympics.
All right.
That's why I'm like, well, how does she even think that would work?
I don't know how she thinks it will work.
Yo, I'm so confused on how. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig deeper into that one. Now, I don't even know why she has the authority over anything Special Olympics. But either way, this sounds crazy.
It does sound crazy. Am I talking about the special education and not the Special Olympics?
No, she did say she wanted to cut funding for the Special Olympics, but I just didn't know how that tied into the education, the Department of Education for the United States. Like, I thought that the Special Olympics was.
I think the Special Olympics were pretty much spearheaded here, and we are in. I wouldn't say in charge of it, but we control the budget for it, or a large part of the budget for it. And it's not like the regular Olympics. Like, I understand the Olympics, but the Special Olympics were formed much more recently, I should say.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, I remember.
And I think it started here.
It did.
Yeah. And I think it's a budgetary program.
It started in Chicago, but
yeah.
look, yeah, I just didn't know that the U.S. Department of Education was even related to what, because I thought Special Olympics was more of a non-profit type thing, but
Well, I think it's one of those things like the National Endowment of Arts. There's some non-profit entities that
mm-hmm.
we believe are sacred. Yeah.
But I mean, we do provide federal funding. I think each country that participates provides federal funding,
and we completely lead it.
Right. It's our thing, and
it's our thing.
Yeah,
this is our thing, and she completely had to walk that back. Mind you, Betsy DeVos, for the record, and I don't care how I say her name, DeVos, whatever. She is a. We were talking about Aunt Becky. She has all the bag in the whole. She is a billionaire, or I believe so. I believe she's an heiress, and she's married into a family that has all the money in the world. So she is completely detached from the realities that come along with the educational system in the United States, which is why she's completely unqualified to be the head of the Department of Education. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everyone knows this. We want to talk about Kavanaugh and all that. The hearings that should have been a barn burner and actually were kind of a barn burner, like before Kavanaugh came along, were DeVos's hearings, because they were like, she's unqualified. She's unqualified. She has no relation and no sort of, I guess, just relationship to what normal people who go through the educational system would face.
I was done with her when she was appointed, and then started.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Bumping her gums about what's best for HBCUs. I'm like, woman, get out of here.
Oh, that's right. And she went to either Hampton or Howard, one of them.
She didn't go to Hampton.
Oh. No, not went. I'm talking about attended an event and was talking about that. So yeah.
Yeah, no.
That was my story about her.
Yeah,
we can move on.
Yeah, she went to Bethune-Cookman.
That's right.
I know she didn't visit Hampton,
but I knew it was an HBCU, and she said something ignorant there. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, nah, I'm good on her. Look, we haven't talked about hip hop in a while on this show.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's been a minute. Like, since one of our first 4 or 5 episodes, we talked about a little bit of hip hop. So this week, one of the biggest stars of today it's been under fire.
Yeah.
Probably for the last couple weeks.
Well, we talked about her during the Grammys.
Yeah, but we kind of just ran that down, and we actually talked about how we like how her personality and how real she is, and we kind of appreciate her glow up.
So let's just reveal it.
Yeah, so Cardi B is recently being compared to Bill Cosby, which is never a good thing nowadays.
Never.
So Cardi B came under fire this week for a video that she posted on her Instagram 3 years ago, I want to say, where she talked about some of the things that she had to do to survive before she was famous.
I thought it was longer than that.
Oh, it was 3 years ago.
Okay.
So it has resurfaced, obviously, because that's what happens when you get famous. When you get larger than life, people...
Everything that you've ever done in your whole life.
Yeah. People find it and they bring it to the forefront.
Yep.
And this is what happened to Cardi this week. So she's come out and basically... I mean, she didn't shy away from it. She owned it. She said, hey, this was what it was at the time. I did these things. I drugged men who hired me for sex work, and I stole their money.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts?
Obviously, it's bad. It's not good. I mean, there are crooks out there that feel like when they're at the end of their rope, that they need to do things to survive. I get it. Those things aren't always right. Like if I walked outside right now and my car was stolen and somebody stole it because they didn't have any money and sold it on the black market somewhere, they needed that money to survive. But guess what? Now I'm put out because I no longer have a car and you've committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the issue I have is that people are comparing her to Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, saying
Yeah.
that, which it's a little different because those two are people who had power, prestige, wealth, and fame, and used that to get what they got from people who had less. Cardi was a person who had less and was trying to survive. That's the only two differences that I see here.
Okay. Keep going.
Other than that, you drugged people and you stole their money. So
I was about to say, I'll put it this way: what power, prestige, and all that, what you just said, does to women, sex, or the possibility of it, can sometimes do to some men. So she had that power over those men and used it to put them in a vulnerable position, and after which she could then make it easier to drug them. So I think in both cases you're looking at a situation. We are looking at a situation in which you lure a person into a state in which they're most vulnerable, and then take advantage of that vulnerability for your advantage. Um, Look, she should have kept her entire mouth shut about this, because this is a bad look for her. I like Cardi B though. In general, it's kind of like I like the Cosby Show. It's kind of like I like R. Kelly songs. Um, she just, you know, to your point, there's a different dynamic always between men and women, just like there's different dynamic between white people and black people. You can't, you know, equate racism with white people and black people. You can't equate sometimes sexism between men and women, even though some women believe you can. You can't. There's a party in power and there's a party that's
oppressed.
without oppressed. But I did want to draw that comparison though, because a lot of men, and look, I consider myself one of them. For a long time I had to get out of that, where sex drives it. I mean, that's it. And if you have the power of sex over those men, it's as equal to the power of money, influence, whatever, as a man over a woman.
I guess what I'm not understanding is they were trying to pay her for sex work anyway. So is she saying that so she wouldn't have to actually go through with it? She drugged them first and then just took their
I
money.
believe that's exactly what she said, so that she wouldn't have to risk like them being, you know, crazy or something. That's probably her explanation. Yeah, because
So
they're probably some she didn't do that. She just went in, and broke them off, and did the same thing.
so the question was asked of us before the show: were we canceling Cardi? Um, I can't really cancel somebody that I don't, I've
Cancel them
never,
how? Yeah,
I haven't bought any of her
right,
music. I could probably only name like one song. I do like her story in that she started from this space and ended up in this space.
right.
I watched her on Love and Hip Hop when she was on there. But outside of that, I'm probably like a more of an acquaintance in this situation than I am.
Yeah, I believe I've said it. Like, I'm not in a position to cancel anybody. I like her interviews. I like when she goes out and like talks to people and stuff. I don't buy anybody's records anymore. I'm gonna just keep it 100. Like, I listen to music if I happen to be in the car and it happens to be in the radio, or if I happen to be in a bar, or a day party, or a club, and it happens to be there. I don't buy music, so cancel them how. But I get it if we're talking about boycott. I know this come up with Michael Jackson, R. Kelly. I haven't staked my position on that yet. I'll put it like this: if Well, first of all, R. Kelly's royalties clearly aren't getting to him.
Like, why you so broke, bro?
I feel less guilty about listening to the songs now because apparently that money isn't trickling down to him. Apparently his deals are not, you know, advantageous to him.
Well, he can't read or write, so how would he know?
I don't know what to make of that theory, but it seems to be gaining legs the more I learn. Michael Jackson is dead, so you know his estate. I do like his daughter came out and was like, look, I'm not gonna be put in a position where I have to come out here and defend my father. I love my father, and that's it.
Yeah,
Point
but
blank.
she
Period.
also tried to commit suicide again. So
well, no, but I guess I like the statement that she made. I didn't know about the suicide attempt, so I guess that takes some air out of it.
She's not well, but that statement is a good statement.
That was a good statement. So if someone
she's
voted
the only
for her,
one out of the children that says anything.
Well, she's the oldest too, I believe.
No, Prince is the oldest. The boy, then her, then another boy.
Oh, I didn't even know he had 3. I thought it was her and Blanket.
Blanket was the last.
I can't believe he named. Okay, anyway.
That was the nickname.
All right, what's the real name?
Prince Michael II.
Oh, so they're 2 princes. All right, whatever. All right, I'll leave that alone. I do like her statement though because I agree with it. Y'all not gonna put me out here in a position to defend my father. That point blank period. I love my father. I don't think he did it, so I'm not gonna be out here like feeling like I have to cape for him. Janet Jackson, by the way, stepped off the HBO Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She showed up, but she was supposed to perform. She didn't. I wouldn't have showed up if I was
y'all
her.
could have mailed me it.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I might have forgot my point, Sham.
I think you need to remember your point.
So, actually, I do remember my point now. Amazing how that works. Drum roll. R. Kelly did it. Not a surprise there. R. Kelly. Michael Jackson didn't do it. Even after seeing the and it was a tough special. That's my opinion. Did not do that. Too convenient for these young men. Safe Chuck got to be. Now, I will stick by a couple of positions I made. Safe Chuck got abused by somebody. One Mike. Wade Robson. Yeah. Go fly kite. And I'm jumping out there like that. Now, I'm not caping for anybody. This is an objective opinion. Mike was weird as hell, and guess what? He should have had. He had plenty of advisors. Mike was just weird. I'm not gonna sit here and make an argument about why he did or didn't do it because the argument for why he did do it is compelling. But my personal belief after channeling it is he didn't do it. So there you have it. Another reason why I should get emailed. Shan, where should they direct their email?
Stop playing podcast at gmail.com.
And then colon Shaka. Yeah. Shaka's opinions.
Yeah, put Shaka in the Ray line.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with this.
She has nothing to do with that. I'll own that. I'll own that. Mike innocent. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, free Mike. I mean, he's dead. But
you're not gonna march on Washington for it?
No, because you know what? He opened himself up for this because he was weird. And stop. You're opening yourself up to allow this.
So circling back to Cardi B, we know she did it because she said it.
So what should happen with her?
Yeah,
she should be judged for it. She committed a crime. You drug someone. Look, I don't care. I can pass judgment on these guys. If somebody drugs me, I want them to go to jail for it. It steals my money? That's robbery. Yeah. I want them to go to jail. Bill Cosby? Nah, because guess what? Bill Cosby did what he did for sex. She did what she did for money. Does that make a difference? Actually, it does. It does. There's a reason why raping somebody and robbing somebody is different sentences, no matter what the sex. Yeah, there's a different type of violation.
As they say, there are levels to this.
Ask a man, would he rather be raped or robbed? And then that'll give you your answer right there.
I guess it depends on who he's raped by.
Yeah.
So let's move on to some sports.
Let's want to get into some sports. Let's go.
Yeah. So what's going on with LeBron? I think you said I don't know.
LeBreeze. Okay. Listen. I'm so glad you brought this up, and really, I brought this up. LeBron James had a physical trainer. Okay, I don't know her name. I don't care. She came out earlier this week and said, "Hey guys, I just want you guys to know, I've trained Marines, I've trained athletes, I've trained all these people who have all these thresholds for pain, and then I trained LeBron." So she's setting him up at like Thor. And she says, LeBron had an injury that should have required 6 months, but he came back in 6 weeks. He's a warrior. And this, that. Went out of her way. This was the most staged, like, effort to appease Lakers fans I have ever seen. It was disgusting.
Everything about LeBron is staged.
It was disgusting. This was after they had already been eliminated from the playoffs, and all the Lakers fans were completely disgusted. LeBron, listen. Here's the difference between you and Mike right now. Mike done this up losing. If he lost, when he lost to Orlando when he came back, he kept it quiet, got himself together, came back.
Yo, in that offseason, he turned himself into a bigger beast.
This is not the time to make excuses and send your personal trainer out there to talk about how you played. Because guess what? If you're groin injury, and they said this on PTI, so I don't want to bite them. If your groin injury was 6 months serious, then take 6 months. Don't come back in 6 weeks. That's irresponsible and damn near reckless. So what are you doing? So what are you telling us?
You know, for someone concerned so much about his legacy, he sure does let these stupid things happen. Like, what legacy are you concerned about, sir? Yeah, like
he engineered this.
I know, but
yeah.
What legacy are you concerned about then? Because it's not. I mean, to me, it's not a good look.
No.
The other thing about Jordan, look, he came back like with 20 games left in the season, or however many games was left after he decided to just quit baseball. He wasn't in shape. He clearly looked like someone who hadn't played basketball in 3 years. His shot was off. He just didn't. He looked all kinds of out of sorts on the court, and they lost. They lost to Orlando in the playoffs. Orlando ultimately got swept by the Houston Rockets.
Yep. Shaq's still trying to catch Hakeem right now.
But what did Michael Jordan do in the offseason and subsequently the next year? Came back and won 72 games.
I mean,
like, that is what you do.
Took it to another level that we didn't think he could take it to.
Right. He was like, okay, I got a jump shot now.
And allied with one of his worst enemies, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so an example of what to do after you're downtrodden. Like, let me tell you, the Lakers ain't coming back next year and winning no 72 games. That is for sure. Because LeBron ain't going to play but in 55 of them.
Now, if LeBron is smart, he listens to this podcast. And maybe he aligns with
an
someone.
Enemy?
Yeah.
KD?
Hey, him and KD, that's a problem. Instantly. So maybe he looks at Jordan and says, oh, wait a minute. Now, Jordan made the playoffs. But maybe he says, okay, all right. You know, you take a lump. You come back, all right.
What you don't do is send your representative out to speak on your behalf.
Your mid-40s physical trainer to tell you how she's trained Marines Marines.
Did we ever know how Michael Jordan was doing physically, except for the one year he broke his ankle?
And I'm sorry, LeBron James is in excellent shape and is a physical specimen, but he's a basketball player. He's trained Marines. I'm pretty sure there's a Marine out there who might have a higher threshold for pain than LeBron James. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure
there is
thousands of Marines that have a higher.
I'm pretty sure that's an insult to a lot of Marines out there.
If I'm a Marine, I'm like, bitch.
Right. What are you talking about? Like, I gotta like fall out of a helicopter at 2:00 in the morning on some beach somewhere, like, and you comparing me to some basketball player
who freaking cramped up because he didn't drink enough water during a finals game. Stop. Like, get out of here. I can't cramp up during the war. I can't cramp up when I'm out there on the
right. I can't have like a do-over in a game 2 or game 3. So yeah, that was LeBron James this week. And look, I respect LeBron James. I actually damn near like him a lot more than a lot of people I know.
I respect him more off the court.
I respect him both ways because look, the NBA has turned the crap. Now he helped that, so he has to reap what he sowed. But the bottom line is him getting beat by Golden State. Like, who's gonna beat them? And he can't control, like, people like J.R. Smith. He can't control that. So I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, man. I'm tired of here. Look, I feel like.
Oh, this will be the last time we talk about him on the podcast this season.
It's really no need to talk about him anymore.
They're not in the playoffs.
It's nothing.
The playoffs, the NBA playoffs getting ready to start.
Yeah, and he won't be in it.
And he will not be in it.
Predicted. So look.
Wrongfully, him and Magic Johnson, as Kornheiser said the other day, as I said before that aborted trade. I've never seen something torpedo a season that literally had nothing to do with what was on the court. Their attempt of a trade literally just completely obliterated that team.
And to your point, like, okay, so you didn't make the trade, but guess what? The same people are still here. So keep playing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. The Lakers are trash.
Trash. They
are a landfill right now, actually.
But I guarantee you they'll be good next year. He will get a free agent. That's okay. That was my elbow hitting the table, guys, and it hurts.
It looked like it hurt.
So
right there.
Badly.
Right there in the humerus.
I'm holding it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna still continue with the podcast to tell you that the Lakers will get a good free agent next year.
Should we get your physical trainer to come in and update everyone about your injury?
She's gonna tell everybody how she's trained Marines, but that me hitting that table is the best act of heroism she's ever seen.
Yeah, you have a high threshold for pain.
Keep going.
Yo. So let's talk about LeBron's boy. We didn't really get into this when it happened.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
Look, we kind of glossed over the whole Tristan Khloe Kardashian thing.
Jeez Louise.
We were going to mention it, and then we had to re-record, and then we just, didn't even talk about it no more because more things were important.
Yeah.
So now, outside of the fact that Tristan Thompson cheated on Khloe with her little sister's best friend, now he's out here messing with 17-year-olds. I
believe I said it on a previous podcast. I need Tristan Thompson to channel. I'm sorry, guys. Confession alert. I do not like the phrase "keep the same energy." I think it's one of these, fads that's gonna go away. But whatever. But I need him to channel that same energy. So it's the same phrase that he had for smacking Draymond Green in the club.
He'll always be a winner for that for me.
Right. To playing ball and stop all this foolishness. You are DMing a 17-year-old girl. You can't suss that out, Slim. and understand how old this woman is? A girl, you can't understand how old she is? You're gonna slide in her DMs and put a heart there? You put a heart there, Sham.
I mean, she's a social media influencer.
So there are
Maybe
two
he
possibilities.
was just appreciating her influencing skills.
There are two possibilities. Possibility number one, it was him. Whack. Possibility number two is one of his boys. Cut that dude out your circle right now. Either way, you put a heart in a 17-year-old girl's DM feed? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he trashy.
Right. I don't even care what you did about all this other stuff. If this story had been independent, you're an NBA player. What are you doing? Whatever. That's all I gotta say about that one.
Me too, because you know what? The Orioles beat the Yankees today, 5-3.
Y'all 1-1.
And we so are they.
We 0-2. My Nationals. Let me tell you, hey guys. Panic button is starting to be pushed. I already mentioned it last episode. We got 162 games. We're now 0-2, so we got 160 to go. Davey Martinez, you better get a win up on this board, or everybody in the city of Washington, D.C. is about to go crazy, because we have just lost a series to the Mets, who are the worst team in the whole world. We better beat the Phillies, who have Bryce Harper, for the record, coming into town. We better sweep them. Sham.
Okay, back to a team that won today.
Wow.
So
hey, I want y'all to remember this when the Orioles are like, 10-60 or whatever, like
look,
in the middle of the season.
You're not about to hijack my high to lament about how the Nationals suck, yo.
I acknowledged your win, and then I was trying to,
Nah, you was trying to commiserate again.
I was trying to commiserate real quick about Bryce Harper, and then you were like, well, let's go back to a team that matters.
That matters. That won today.
That won today. You didn't even acknowledge what I said.
Because
all right,
all
don't
we
worry
do
about
is
it.
acknowledge Bryce Harper and how he left. Like,
don't worry about it. When the Orioles are 10 and 50,
as they were last
moment.
year.
Remember this moment.
There's no need to remember it. You dogged me out last season because they had the worst record ever in the history.
I was not leaning on your case.
It's cool.
It's okay.
I have a lifetime of misery.
I'm okay.
Except for the one championship. I'm good. Eagles fan, Orioles fan. I know about misery. I'm good.
So, what did you want to say? Why did you want to get it back to the Orioles?
Oh, just because they won.
So, you wanted to interrupt my point. You ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Yeah, wrap it up. Because you're being rude. It doesn't become you.
I don't care. So, look, guys. Thanks again for listening to this double-dipped version of the Stop Playing podcast with Sham and Shaka. Shaka's face right now. I don't ever get to say this.
I'm good.
But Shaka's
I'm all right.
He always says this about my faces.
I'm smiling. No, I gave her a bad face like 2 seconds ago, but I fixed my face. I fixed it. Keep going.
He fixed his face. So look, guys, thanks again. Again, you can reach us at iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and CastBox. I did check the iTunes analytics today, so I'm glad that people are joining in.
Yeah.
Hey guys, tell your friends.
Tell all your friends.
Absolutely, tell your friends.
We are the best podcast out there. I want a radio war. That's what I want. I want a podcast war.
I'm not saying all that. One of us here is humble. So look,
I want a war.
Okay, that's great. But look,
tell your friends and tell them we're better than them, and tell them we're better than everybody. All right, I will shut up.
And look, give us some feedback. You got our email address, stopplayingpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also put a comment on iTunes. You can put a comment on SoundCloud. Comment wherever you want to comment. Good or bad. We need to know what you guys think. So, once again, thanks for listening to us, and keep your chips on the plate.
Let's go.
Stop playing.